First item is the invocation. Mr. Drawley, if you would you say our prayer? Mr. Hickox, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the ability to gather together as free citizens, God, to do the work of Wayne County, to allow citizens to be involved and see their government at work. More than anything, God, I just ask you to keep your hand on these county commissioners, myself, and the county clerk, and the county attorney, as we go through the county's business, not just tonight or today, but just on a day-to-day basis, Lord. Always keep us focused on you so that we know that we're going to be doing the right thing for the citizens of Wayne County. And Lord, more than anything, I just pray your blessings on this meeting, and I ask this in the strong name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the adoption of the agenda. I do have one thing, and we try not to do this, but there's a resolution that the Altamaha River Leisure Authority has got to have in, and we need to approve it. It's for them to get the GOSA grant. They applied for it last year. We did approve the resolution, but they did not get the grant, and this is just for us to approve it to so that they can apply for it again. Anybody else got anything?
Where will that go on the agenda?
That'll be item M, and it'll be resolution for Altamaha River Leisure Authority to apply for the GOSA grant. Need somewhere else to put stuff.
So you need a second that amendment?
Yes, sir.
I second.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Next item is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting September the 4th and the called meeting for September the 21st.
I have one little slight change on there. We had referenced someone from the DOT and they were from the DOD. I'll get with you, it's on page 4, second
Okay.
paragraph. It's the only difference.
You want to make a
I
motion
make a
pending
motion.
those changes?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes pending that change.
I second it. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Presentations and announcements, we have none. Citizens' concerns, we do have 3 people on this. Just a couple of things. I know some of y'all received the rules of decorum. We just want to make sure everybody abides by these rules. The chair shall enforce the rules of decorum. The purpose of the meeting of the Board of Commissioners is to conduct county business. Meetings shall be conducted in an orderly and respectful fashion. They are not a forum to belittle. You got me, Boot. $20. It wasn't a phone call, though. It was a text message. All right. Meetings shall be conducted in an orderly and respectful fashion. They are not a forum to belittle, ridicule, or embarrass county commissioners, other county officials, county employees, or others. I'm gonna skip through some of this. All meeting attendees must conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Personal attacks or derogatory or inappropriate remarks are not permitted. Individuals violating any of the rules may be ruled out of order by the chair. An individual violating the rules of decorum may be removed from the meeting at the direction of the chair or just asked to sit down. With that being said, first person on citizens' concerns, Mr. Corbett. And he is talking about EMS.
Evening, members of the board.
Oh, I'm sorry. There is a 5-minute time limit. Mr. Beaver, if you
I
will.
figured
Thank
y'all
you.
already clocked me. Ready? You good. All right, I'm gonna try to do this pretty fast. The last meeting during the video, it said that we tasked a subject matter expert to review the policies of EMS. Who is we? Did y'all vote on that?
You just ask your question. We're not going to respond to anything. We will take into consideration any questions you have, and if we need to address them, we will address them in another meeting.
So y'all not gonna respond to any citizen concerns?
Not in this meeting, no.
Does bringing an outside consultant review county EMS policy constitute official business? If yes, was it addressed at a vote? Is there any minutes on that? Which county commissioner validated the credentials of a medical expert? Richard Johnson is not only the fire chief, safety coordinator, but he's also the EMS chief. If your subject matter expert, out-expert him. If so, why are we paying him? Anybody validate his credentials against the current chief? Does anybody even have the credentials to validate somebody in the medical field? Since the last meeting regarding EMS, a deputy director position has been relieved. That position currently does billing for the county, PCRs, restocking, ordering supplies for the trucks, and work schedules. Who's filled it? If all that stuff's not being done, is the county EMS collapsing?
Well, I will answer that one because I can. It went for years without one. The director handles those positions when they're not filled.
You know where the director is now? His father-in-law's dying. How do y'all call it?
Didn't know that.
And in those years, what year was it?
I don't remember.
We have 35,000 citizens here in Jessup. State requires 1 truck per every 10. Was it during those years or is it before? Let me read y'all something. The Ultra Buyers Act. Some of y'all want to say that you voted on anything. Must be mindful that a single commissioner acting independently without the approval of a majority vote of the board properly recorded in minutes has no authority to supervise day-to-day activities of county personnel. None of y'all voted. None of y'all is willing to speak. You ran on transparency. Every one of y'all should be ashamed.
All right, thank you. Mr. Farrell Cooksey on Wayne County band competition.
I get 5 minutes too.
2.5.
Say, it's hard for me to talk in 5 minutes, but anyhow, I am Farrell Cooksey, Wayne County Band Boosters President. November 4th, we have the Wayne County Band competition here called the Deep South Classic. One of the things that we're asking for from you guys, not a single dollar to be given. We're not asking for your money. We would love to have y'all each come support it. As elected officials, we are giving y'all free entrance. Your name will be at the gate. We would love to have y'all come and see what goes on. That particular day, there's a roughly 4,000 to 6,000 extra people here in Wayne County. It's a little bit of an economic impact. They do typically come just to the stadium. They pay their way in. We feed them because there's all kinds of food trucks and concessions that are available at that point in time. Can't give you a number on what the economic impact is here locally, but they do come in, they buy gas. They may stop by some of the stores to buy stuff here, but we do have them come in. The afternoon will kick off. I think the first band takes the field around 1 o'clock. And from there, we have currently 10 bands signed up. If you're familiar with Houston County, we have 3 of their bands coming. 2-3 years ago, the Warren Robins High, I believe it was, brought in 2 semi-trucks worth of stuff that goes on the field. We've already spoken with, I think we've spoken with the sheriff about having off-duty law enforcement. We're speaking to the city police chief to have off-duty law enforcement, which we will pay. They're not coming to do it for free, Mike. But we do pay them to be there. We also pay EMS to be there, so we have all of our stuff covered on that afternoon. But more than anything, we're asking that you guys come and support it. Come and see what our kids do on the field. I know y'all are there on Friday nights most of the time, and you see the halftime show. That's just one part of what bands do. This particular competition season starts Saturday. We're not in that one, but we participate in 3 every year. The Deep South Classic here in Wayne County is the last competition of the year, which means these bands that get rained out earlier on in October, they will try to come to this one. This year we have them coming as far away as Panama City. We have one coming from St. Augustine. We have the 3 coming from Houston County area. We have several that are, I guess you'd call them local, between Ware, Liberty, I think Richmond Hill's coming this year. So we have all these folks coming into Wayne County, and I would love to have an opportunity to look around and see our Wayne County Commissioner shirts there. Paul, you don't get free admission, sorry. I may sneak Miss Amanda in there. But anyhow, we really want y'all to come out and see what these kids do. Y'all all know football practices go from spring on into fall. Band practices year-round. These kids have football season, then they go into concert season. They're always having some sort of function going on to practice. And y'all get to see the effects here at concerts. But they do get kind of brushed to the side, except for halftime shows on Friday nights. And I challenge anyone, even Coach J-Bo, who I love to pieces, you pull out the band at halftime, you lose half your people. Doesn't matter how good the football team's doing, but if the band's not there, who's gonna rile them up? So, again, just asking y'all to come, be a part of it, come see what they do. Any questions that you may have, I know it's listed under citizens' concerns, which I don't have any. But if you have any questions about the competition that day,
It starts at 1 p.m. How long does it usually last?
dear Lord, Miss Jamie, it goes until they're finished. We have it currently scheduled for around 9:30, I think, is when superintendent will come and do the awards. And if y'all have never seen these trophies, they're suckers are like 6 foot tall for the grand champion of the night. We have trophies in each division. Inside those divisions, you have trophies that represent anywhere from majorettes, flag, brass, percussion, all those different sections have trophies that are available.
And that's November the 4th.
November 4th, first day of November, usually coincides with some sort of football game that goes on in Jacksonville, I think. But we're more important, we feel like we're more important than that particular football game, because it's our kids. So ours will actually not be competing, but they will do
That's your 5 minutes.
they will do a performance at the end of the night.
Okay.
And typically, we also have a visiting college will come in and do a show. Any other questions? Cool.
Thank you.
y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person we have Mr. John Steed. paving of B. Baker Drive.
I spoke with
see
Mr.
Mr.
Steed
Steed.
on the phone, and of course, I spoke with Mr. Steed on the phone and explained to him what the situation was, but invited him, obviously, if he still wanted to come, but he seemed to be satisfied after I'd talked to Mr. Elton and stuff. I told him where it was at on the list
Right.
and date and stuff.
Okay. And I went out and looked at that road, and it's a dead-end road, and there's a ditch at the end of it. It's already on the paving list from previous commissioners voting that in. Anyway, as long as he's good with it. And they're just waiting on funding to make sure it gets done, or,
Yes, so we have some priorities.
That's right.
about it, But,
that's right.
anticipate it being done within the next 2 years anyway.
Right. Well, and myself, I went down on a Friday. It had rained Thursday and Friday. I wish my road was that good. It's a nice dirt road, and it's a wide dirt road. Drainage is good on it and all of that, but, all right, next time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
did you go all the way down? Cause the first of it is wide, then it comes down, and it's like a,
At the curves.
ain't no curve, that's a corner.
That's-
You're gonna have to do something about that.
Wait till you get it paved,
Yeah,
it'll
but
be,
then it goes all the way around, so they probably put a stop sign there, I don't know, that's pretty,
right.
is everybody giving right away on that?
I think they have one,
We've got right of way sufficient on most of it. It might be a little close on that little section from that right-hand turn to the left-hand turn. Little section through there, the question about right of way on that, but, that could hamper any schedule or whatever, as with any of the other roads.
but you're right, it is a sharp left turn. Whatever, but.
Well, I'm glad that's not in my district.
Public hearings none. Old business, consider and approve EMS policy and procedure and employee handbook, tabled from September the 4th. I spoke with several people about this, and anytime we do policy and procedure, we can amend it at any time if we see a problem with that policy and procedure. You know, times change. Some of the ones that we have are older. Some in some of the other departments we may need to look at or get the department heads to look at those. But there's always, times are changing, and periodically they need to be amended so that we can make sure we're up to date on them. Like parking your horse to the left side of the road, a lot of those are gone away now, and we don't need those in our policy and procedures anymore.
I had a couple emails on those. I referred the people to Paul. I assume that you took care of, did you get any emails or with questions on the policies? I know I saw a reply back about a worksheet.
You talking about from Mr. Sumrow?
Yes.
Yes, I was in conversation with Mr. Sumrow and told him that once I got a chance to go through his list, that we would continue to look at them and
That's all I got.
see, yeah.
I'll make a motion, let's accept it.
Okay. I'll second it. Any more comments, concerns? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes. That's all we have under old business. New business, consider improving, installing some pipeline beneath Holmesville Road. Brandon, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this. We're not really gonna do anything today because I understand that they don't have a contractor yet. Did y'all ever get a contractor?
Mr. Chairman, we're going to have someone under contract within the next couple of weeks, so we would like the commission to approve a road closure for the second week of November.
That'll give us 30 days to be able to
Right,
advertise for it.
yep. Okay,
And he has reduced the amount to 1 week. Hopefully we can get it sooner than that. But
From 2
no longer
weeks?
than a week.
okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So what date are you looking at exactly?
The week of the 13th. So that'd be the full second week of November.
So November the 13th
I still got advertised.
through the 20th?
I'm pulling up my calendar.
Okay, I'm sorry, I put you on the spot. Well, as, before when we talked, y'all didn't have anybody and we didn't have a date, but it is important because what we were looking at, as Brandon alluded to, we have a 30-day notice that we have to give. I had some people questioning me on what was going on with it. They were asking about Powerline Road, why it was still closed. And that was something that we had, I think, before y'all were on here, that we had decided to keep it closed because of safety issues and also maintaining the road. Either way, when they do this, they're gonna be mining on the left side of Holmesville Road if you're going towards Odom. And these pipes are to transfer liquids or
Yes, the
slurry.
And under the road and back to the mill on power line.
Right,
So that'll be the last piece that we mine with that mill and its location on power line road. And it is the 13th to the 20th.
okay. Do you want to go through any of that? I mean, they're putting pipes under the road to avoid having to have trucks transfer that material from one side. Am I correct? Y'all stop me if I'm incorrect on anything. But to keep from transferring the material from one side of Holmesville Road to the other side, they're going to pipe it and run it under there to the slurry facility.
Yes, sir, otherwise it would be continuous traffic with our 40-ton haul trucks going back and forth.
That's right.
across Holmesville.
And
What dates did you say that Holmesville Road is gonna be,
Well,
closed in
we
order
hope-
to accomplish this?
We hope, Commissioner, it's only a couple days. but
Okay.
we'd like a week window for our contractor, the 13th of November through the 20th.
Okay, and as a result, once we get this done, you know, whenever you're through mining and everything, what's the plans then? Is it to leave it there, or is it for the county to take care of it, or how does that, I don't know if we,
I had asked that question when
Okay.
they started. I don't know that the decision has been made yet because the issue I have with it, and I think there's 10 pipes that are going through. Some of them are larger pipes. They're gonna be 4 feet under the road. I don't know if we'll be able to fill those in because I'm the same way. If they're those, what are they made of? Polypropylene? Okay. Anyway, I have a problem with those breaking down through the years,
that's the
but
point I was fixing
I-
to make too, Chairman.
Mr. Jim said that they're gonna take care of us, whatever they need to do. If they need to remove them and we're uncomfortable with,
What I would recommend is that when we, once we get towards the end of life of mining operation, we can come back forward and make a decision on. We can go back through the process and reverse it, and remove all the pipes, and we can have that conversation.
or fill them with concrete.
Fill 'em with
Yeah,
concrete,
we'll fill them with concrete.
Right.
Because obviously, I hate to interrupt traffic again.
that's right.
Yeah, 'cause that's on my road.
We're gonna have an engineer, participate and support the process. So when we rebuild the road, repave the road, it's gonna be just as strong as it was before, if not better. And so it's just a question of do we wanna unwind that and do it one more time? And so we're open to support whatever the county would like to see happen.
And is that gonna be in some kind of written form or some a contract, or either just a verbal agreement between the county
We have a
and?
commitment to
Okay,
undo everything we do with our permits and whatnot, so.
okay.
But if we can, we'll do whatever you guys need.
I just wanna make sure you might not be the person and I might not be the county commissioner up here when that needs to be done. So it needs to be, you know, legal, contract and binding, you're responsible for it. Put it back as it is or better. All right, I'm good.
Okay. So it looks like we're going, instead of looking at the installing, we're gonna look at closing Holmesville Road from November the 13th through November the 20th. And the reason I wanted these dates is because if you look, we have to give 30 days. You're looking at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I would like these, this hopefully be taken care of before then. So I make a
Brandon and I
motion.
will get together Wednesday and get kind of the description and all that where we can advertise it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got a detour map, we're gonna have road closure signs put up in all the locations, so
So
Okay.
we'll advertise it plus put it on our website.
One thing that I did mention to some people that called me last night, if we can, put a sign up before November the 13th saying that the road will be closed the 13th. And that way, everybody knows it's coming and they'll make preparations to go. I believe it's Flint Branch Church Road. That will be the detour. But that way, so my wife don't get all the way down there and have to turn around. Sorry, Sharon. All right, so I make a motion that we close Holmesville Road from November the 13th through November the 20th in order for Camorras to put the pipeline in.
I second it.
Any more comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Okay? Y'all good? If anything changes, please let us know. I mean, the dates can't change. That's it. If we need to change those dates, we'll have to do that in an open meeting again, and then you have to wait the 30 days again. So I strongly encourage you to get your contractor to do it.
We will be
on
doing
the-
that. Thanks very much,
Okay,
Chairman.
thank you. Next item is consider and approve Pine Ridge subdivision Phase 2.
Pine Ridge Phase 2 is over off of Spring Grove Road. Phase 1 is off Church Street. This will be another 27 lots. It's already been approved by the Health Department, Building Inspector, and County Engineer have all looked at it. Don't see any issues with it. It'll have community water fed by Water Utility Management. Agreement's already been made on that. The main entrance will be off of Spring Grove Road. It will not cut through all the way to Church Street, so it'll end in a cul-de-sac. This will be JAB Construction, who did or in the process of doing Phase 1. I think they got 3 lots cleared, getting ready to construct on it. If there's any questions or anything about it.
I've got one. So I rode through there and I saw the 3 lots cleared. Why are we approving Phase 2 before Phase 1?
So he's wanting to, or Water Utility Management has a water system on Church Street and they have one on Spring Grove Road. They're wanting to go ahead and run the line to connect the 2 systems together. It's gonna be EPD, or they're both EPD systems, but it's gonna be one big
Community
system.
wells.
Exactly. And what he's wanting to do is go in there, get everything cleared out, get his infrastructure laid out, and then he can just build as he goes along. That's the way I understood it.
And he's the one that built the ones on the right side of Spring Grove
That's the
Road.
same one.
Nice.
JAB Construction Investments, I believe is the name of the
Right.
company.
Yep. They all look very nice. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at them, but. All right, so I entertain the motion to approve the second phase of Pine Ridge subdivision.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
we-
second it.
Okay, thank you. Any more comments, concerns? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Next item is consider and approve bid for metal building for elections.
Chairman, we received one bid on that from S&S Buildings and Fab in the amount of $128,000.
And that is a 40 by 100? Okay. In case everybody didn't know, this is an election building for us to hold elections in from now on. We currently don't, we're having early voting in Hall Richardson. This building will be put right out here. And it'll be a permanent building, and that's all it'll be used for, that and the registrar and storing the Dominion machines. I don't know if you're aware, but all those machines have to remain plugged in at all times. Very aggravating, to say the least, but this building will accommodate it. And all this, the portion that will be considering tonight is just for the metal structure and the concrete, correct?
Yes.
Okay. There will be other modifications that have to be made on it, but we were wanting to get this so that we can, get the hull and the structure put up, so later on we'll be able to. And hopefully this will be good, because I have a lot of my older constituents, including my parents, that are upset when the election spot changes. And I agree, because they want to go to the same place. It was at the courthouse. When we have it at the courthouse, it shuts the courtrooms down for 3 weeks. Very, very inconvenient and bottlenecks the court cases. I think this will be a good addition to the county building so that we can use that. And from now on, it will be, I assume it'll be called the election building, and everybody will know where they need to go to vote, and it'll be at the same place. We measured off from the building to the road, and there's gonna be, what would you say, 20 feet, 30 feet from the highway?
Yes, sir.
That will be left open for candidates to put their tents up and things like that. We're gonna put an 8-inch stripe out there so that everybody knows. You don't have a sign that says this is 150 feet. There'll be an 8-inch stripe on the asphalt. We gotta do a little bit of reclamation to the parking lot to get it to where it will be one complete parking lot. But I really believe this is going to be a big asset to Wayne County to give not only the candidates a favorable location to be able to put their tents up and things like that, but also to be a permanent location for us to vote.
I'd also like to add that this will be funded by the ARP money. I was asked about that this morning, so it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money.
I'll make a motion that we proceed forward.
And accept the bid
Yes, accept the bid.
of 128,000. Was it 128,000?
128,000.
Okay. And we have a second.
So,
Any more comments, concerns?
I think it's a great idea. I agree with you. I think it's gonna, once we get used to it, I think it's gonna be beneficial to Wayne County. No more guesswork.
Yeah, that's right. Well, in Hall Richardson, I mean, it's just a inconvenience for them to have to shut it down. We used to use Cracker Williams. They have to shut it down for 3 weeks. This way we'll have a building totally dedicated for it, and we don't have to shut it down, because that's what it's used for.
And permanent storage for these.
Yes,
international.
yes. And also there'll be a double door to aid in the process of moving these machines. A lot of people, y'all may not know it, but all those machines have to be plugged in 24/7. And then when it comes election day, those machines have to go out to the polling places. Our election supervisor has to be there. I don't think she moves all of them. Do you, Mr. Administrator? There's a lot of machines, but anyway, they have to
usually
be
Kirk and
moved
the
out.
guys, yeah.
They're about 50 pounds apiece, plus or minus. They have to be moved out to each polling location and then brought back and plugged back in. They have to be monitored 24/7 and also have to be climate controlled. And I think this is going to be the best solution for all the way around.
I agree.
All right, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second.
Commissioner Gordon,
yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Did they say when they'd be able to get started on that if we approved it?
Out there now.
Oh, they already out there.
That was good, Mike.
All right, item D. Oh, you were
I
going.
don't see it on here,
Okay.
no.
We'll call them tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we do have an election coming up in March.
Yes,
That-
that is correct.
That will be the next one. Maybe we'll get it built by then. Next item is consider and approve bid for concessions.
Chairman, we did not receive any bids.
Okay. Was it because of the parameters we put on it, or lack of advertisement, or what would you
It-
say?
It was posted on the website. I just don't know, nobody even called up here and questioned or anything, so I really don't know.
I think we should put, my honest opinion, it should be put in the paper and on the
Yeah.
radio.
I think so too.
That way, just, you know what I mean? And if nobody wants to bid on it, then we have no choice to continue to do what we're doing. But at least we've reached out. And it could be put into multiple counties too. People does not have to be from Wayne County, so you might wanna think about that, putting it in multiple counties, surrounding counties, newspaper.
So can we add that to the agenda for our November meeting, please? And hopefully we
Oh, at the
can,
rec department, at the ball fields.
okay? So there's nothing to consider or approve yet. So we'll get those put back out. Maybe we can get them in the newspaper and the radio and, 'cause I have had a lot of people, that had problems finding things on our webpage. And also, once they got there, not maneuvering or whatever. So I don't know how we can better put these out, because I do like to have 3 bids on everything. Maybe we need to consider a different route in.
And we do advertise them in the paper. They are advertised in the paper.
This was advertised in the paper?
I don't know if this one specifically was, but when our bids, when we post the bid on our website, it goes to the paper for them to they normally post it.
If we could get Drew to put it on the front page. Okay. All right. Next, E, consider and approve resolution urging the governor to improve mental health.
You want me to read this? ACCG actually contacted us. They just sent out an email. Counties are the closest constitutional form of government to their constituents and are often on the front line of addressing pressing community issues such as mental health. Within recent years, Georgia has made significant strides regarding mental health reform, and ACCG and Georgia counties have played a critical role in the spearheading those efforts. As the mental health crisis persists, it is incumbent upon Georgia's county officials to continue to help lead efforts with state officials to devise solutions for all who call the Peach State home. There is strength in the collective and unified voice of Georgia's 159 counties. That said, ACCG is strongly encouraging every county in the state to adopt a resolution urging the Governor and General Assembly to continue efforts to reform and improve mental health services for the citizens of Georgia.
So do we just need to approve the resolution?
Yes.
So I open the floor for a motion to approve that resolution, urging the governor to improve mental health, which is,
Mr. Chairman, I make that motion.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second. Any comments?
I think this is something that's needed. It's not just, not just in Georgia. I mean, it's just, we used to have facilities, and I don't have to tell y'all with the homeless and stuff and what you see now, it's, people need to be taken care of. They're human beings. That's all I gotta say.
This has been an ongoing issue for the last couple of years, and recently, legislators have gotten together to appropriate monies for this and sort of help the counties out, take the burdens off the counties, so, it's got some momentum, so, they just wanna know if the county is supporting it, so I think it's a good thing.
I think the resolution will confirm that, and if they get enough, hopefully they'll pass it, because, yes, it's not something to overlook, because to me, as Commissioner Hopkins said, it's not going away. It's gonna be here.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that even in our jail out there, I think we only got 1 cell for mental. Yeah, we just got 1 cell.
Right. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Item F, consider and approve roads in Hunter's Glen subdivision. Y'all want to talk about that? Putting everybody on the spot tonight.
That's all right. Hunter's Glen subdivision was built several years ago, and, for a long time, wasn't any houses much built out there, but, they are well beyond the 50% required occupation at this point. And, folks out there had requested that we look at that and bring it to the commissioners to approve Wayne County accepting those roads for maintenance.
And do you know how long that, I know I'm putting you on the spot. Do you know how long that road is? I didn't.
Yes, sir, it's about, a third of a mile, just a touch over a third of a mile, 35, 36 hundredths of a mile.
Okay. And this is gonna be kinda similar to Best Loop?
Yes, sir. It's-
Same,
The
is,
pavement is, a lot of years old, and it's in bad shape. It'll need reclamation, just like we did on
right.
Best Loop.
And our ordinance says any of these subdivisions after 50%, after they're sold over 50%, or is it 55%? The requirements were made for them to pave the road, and after they're over 50% are sold, we take over the, maintenance of those
Yes,
roads.
the commissioners can take over at that point. I'm not sure exactly how it's all stated, but it is limited. Can't be taken on until they're 50% built upon. It's exceeded that point, so it's met the requirements for the commissioners to.
Have we, if we do accept this, have we got an approximate figure on what it's gonna take to get that road back up to?
About $121,400.
Is that is that a guesstimate? You knew $121,400. So will that be approved at a later date, or if we accept
That would
it?
be approved at a later date. I would suggest that we probably include it in our big program, just like we did on Best Loop. I don't think that they should expect it to be paid tomorrow, but, I'd say the condition out there, it needs to be done.
It's worse than Best Loop.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Oh, I know. Well, I went down Best Loop and I was like, this is the worst road I've ever been to. We'll go to that one. It's worse. It really is. So,
You know, not changing the subject or anything, but we talked about this one time before, and what's happened is whenever we give the okay for these people to do these subdivisions, and they go to pave these roads need to be paved according to the procedures and guidelines and put the correct bed line.
Yes, sir, that's.
Because that's the problem, they were not properly, foundationed, and they're not gonna hold up, is that correct?
That's a lot of the problem. Those roads, back in earlier days.
Yes, sir.
Almost all the counties, Wayne County particularly, accepted sand clay base as a base for roadways. Good sand clay is getting harder and harder to find, so you wind up with a less than quality sand clay base. In a lot of cases, it might meet specifications, but they're kind of borderline. This is difficult to find. But, to answer that question, here, a little while ago, we changed our specifications to require soil cement or either graded aggregate base to be used. We don't any longer accept soil cement. Sand clay.
Sampling. Thank you, sir, I appreciate it.
and hopefully when we take over these after there won't be any maintenance to be done on them. $121,400.
I will say this, when a road's got, 15 years on it before you take over, you're gonna be approaching the point of, resurfacing it.
Yes, sir.
Oddly enough, if you got a well-built road, asphalt pavement does better with some traffic on it than it does no traffic on it. Asphalt, if it's not exercised, it becomes brittle. And then if a road sits there and it's oxidized and becomes brittle, and you put traffic on it at a later time, you do have more of a tendency for it to break up.
Didn't know that. Thank you. I think, anybody else got any more questions?
Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
Thank you. All right, so we need a motion, or I'll entertain a motion to approve us accepting Hunter's Glen subdivision as a county-maintained road from now on. We're not gonna approve the 121,000 at this time. They'll bring that to us at a later date. Okay, I'll make the motion that we accept Hunter's Glen subdivision as a county-maintained road.
Second.
That was quick. Any more comments, concerns? So if you would bring that to us, Mr. Elton, and just let us know when it's on the list, because I'm sure some people are gonna be calling.
Actually, what I'd anticipate is that we'll include it in our next big list. We're currently preparing to put that together now. It'll come to y'all, a little later, but the work will actually be done next year. So based on the timing that we normally do our, sometime, by the middle of the year next year.
I know Best Loop, we went out there and I think we put some rocks or something in some of those deeper potholes. Is there any of that we can do at this time to help out some?
That was in pretty bad shape. If we got some big holes developing out there, we may go in there, just grade it and keep it as a graded road. To the point till we get ready to reclaim. It's not gonna matter if we tear it up more than what it is, as long as we keep it where it's serviceable for folks until we get it back. So.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary.
Yes. All right, next item is consider and approve naming any soccer complex.
Last month, Mr. Steve McGregor came and gave a very passionate plea
To say the least.
to name the soccer complex after a former soccer or rec director, Steve Card. Smiley couldn't be here tonight. He's at a softball game, and he's watching on Facebook Live and very excited for the thought of us naming this soccer complex. So I would like to make a motion that we name the soccer complex the Steve Card
I'll
Soccer
second.
I
Complex.
second that motion.
We have
Eeny,
multiple
meeny, miny,
seconds.
moe.
Yes, we have multiple.
Did I win? Mr. Chairman, heads I win, tail you lose.
Just knock off the $20 for my phone ringing.
$20.
Any more comments, concerns? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCreary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes. I agree. Long overdue.
All right, next item we have consider and approve resolution for Okefenokee Mining. Everybody's had a chance to look at that resolution. Some constituents came last month and talked to us about that resolution, and their concerns are the mining affecting Okefenokee Swamp. I am in 100% support of Okefenokee Swamp. However, from dealing, Camores is gone. They had to go. Anyway, from dealing with them, and the distance that it's away, I don't see the problem that is being acknowledged. EPD has done an excellent job on being able to control the parameters for them actually mining. The area that we're looking like, the distance, I believe it's from where they're at now on Holmesville Road before you get to my house to Dairy Queen? Yes. That's a long ways. I was gonna count how many ponds were in between here and there. There's a bunch of them. I have not heard of any complaints. We had one complaint about a pond going lower, and their pond was not as low as mine was, and I'm 10 miles from there. It was in a droughted time. I don't think it had anything to do with it, but the resolution that's written up is not very strongly against it because we are mining that same trail ridge. And I think it would be awful for us to bash the miners when we've seen that the EPD requirements, if they're followed and they've gotten all their permits and things like that. Who are we to say that they're not following the guidelines and they're gonna damage anything? If we were worried about it, obviously we wouldn't have let them come in here. We did go to some of the sites before and look before we allowed them to come in here, but, I'll entertain the motion to approve this resolution to send up that just says that Okefenokee Swamp is basically a, valuable resource to southeast Georgia, and we don't want anything done to it. And I believe if the EPD holds them to the regulations that they hold to Chemours, it's not Chemours Mining over there, it's a different company, but I think if they hold those to the same parameters, that there will be no problems over there.
I'd like to make the motion, we accept this resolution.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
Who second, Mr. Thomas or you?
Don't call him Mr. Thomas. He said he's looking for his daddy, Commissioner Thomas,
So we,
or Boot.
can we communicate now?
Yes.
Talk?
Yep.
Okay.
Questions,
So-
concerns?
The concerns that I heard when they came was about the water level. And I know personally over there in the Okefenokee Swamp, when you have a dry summer, it's dry. That's my neck of the woods, I know. And I'm telling you, it'll dry up stuff that's never been dried up. So that was the big concern that I heard, that it would change the water tables and stuff, because the water tables in dry season does get below. And it's, maybe every 3 or 4 or 5 years, you get a really dry spell. That was my understanding that the biggest concern was. So what are we saying, what are we actually voting on this resolution? That we're for it, against it, or we want it to be held to the
Yeah, it should be in your book.
Will you read the resolution, Sophie? Would you mind?
Somebody else can read it.
It's too far for me to see it all. Can somebody read it? Amanda, will you read it? Oh, Paul, would you read it?
I don't mind.
I just want to make sure before
yeah.
I vote exactly
Yes, sir.
what the resolution says, because a lot of concerned citizens, a lot of my good friends has a lot of concerns about this, and a lot of people that live over there, close to the Okefenokee Swamp. A lot of my ancestors was over there to cruises. I've got some cousins and stuff that's got some concerns about it, so I'd like to know before I vote exactly what we're voting on.
Okay. It is in your book.
This is,
H. Under H.
I must have missed it.
this is entitled Resolution of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners supporting the protection of the Okefenokee Swamp as a natural resource of international importance and as an economic driver for southeastern Georgia. Whereas the Okefenokee Swamp is considered to be one of America's finest and most significant natural features, an area of truly outstanding ecosystem diversity, unmatched wildlife habitat, and a wetland environment of international significance. And whereas the Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge, established by the federal government in 1937 and currently encompassing over 400,000 acres, benefits the entire southeastern Georgia region. And whereas the swampland, forests, wetlands, and vast St. Mary's River system provided substance and sport hunting and fishing sites, as well as recreational opportunities for our community and visitors. And whereas the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Environmental Protection Division, governed by the state of Georgia, is responsible for regulating and permitting all industrial and commercial activities that affect the natural resources of our state. And now therefore be it resolved by the Commissioners of Wayne County, Georgia, in regular session assembled. 1, the Wayne County Board of Commissioners respectfully urge the Georgia Department of Natural Resources and the Georgia Environmental Protection Division to take every reasonable step to protect the integrity of the Okefenokee Swamp. 2, that the chairman and clerk of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners be authorized and directed to execute this resolution on behalf of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners, respectively, and that the county clerk forward a copy of this resolution to the Georgia State Legislature delegation representing Wayne County, Georgia.
Thank you for that. I missed the H, I apologize. I
That's
should've
okay.
looked it up.
So are you good with it?
I'm good with it.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any more comments, concerns? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Next item, consider and approve bids for landscaping services. This
You
is,
do need to.
in case y'all don't know, this is the landscaping services to take some of this off of the rec department. These will be the landings, playgrounds, county maintained playgrounds. Down at J.C. Landing on the left side. And that's just to take some of the stress off of specking them because they're short-handed. They are pretty much tied up, taking care of the ball fields and things like that with them being short-handed. And this is a contract for them to maintain all of those properties.
It was, we got,
One bid.
one bid back from CRA Landscaping LLC, and it was in two sections, if you remember. We had, all of our city, county property, and then the landings were separated out. And then obviously, as we did it before, if one bidder had a low bid on the total, y'all could take the total bid, but we've only had one bid. So those bids are, for that city, county portion was $26,160. This is annual, okay? And then for the landings was $19,212. And that's annual as well, for a total of, I thought Madam Clerk was adding for me. I'm sorry.
You have my totals.
45, something.
$45,372.
Thank you. If I can add some, or as a reminder, one of the things we talked about before is in reference to, and obviously one reason y'all were seeking these was because of the difficulty it's causing for the rec department and the staff there. But one of the things the rec department does have is a prison crew, which we're paying about $48,000 to $50,000 a year for. And Director Eccles said that if someone took over this, he wouldn't need the prison crew anymore. So it's, yeah, yes,
Not only that, our rec department is two people low.
yes,
So
yeah.
if we hired those two people, that would definitely, their salaries would definitely way more than this. So
Yeah.
it sounds like good business to me.
Does this include fairground?
Yes.
Yeah, the fairgrounds was part of the landings, but then there's also the idea that we might not have the fairgrounds either if the tourism agreement was to go through, which we're still negotiating that.
Right.
And it appears it probably will be, as long as y'all agree, obviously.
I think they can adjust it if that's taken off.
Yes.
Was it bid separately?
No, it was not.
It was just part of the landings at J.C. Landing.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid of $45,372 through which company? I forget.
CRA Lawn Care LLC.
I'll just make that in the form of a motion. I make the motion that we accept the bid for landscaping services for $45,372 for CRA Lawn Care.
I second.
And how long is that contract? Did they?
1 year.
Just 12 months.
Okay. So we'll be able to, what if we,
I'd sure like to know what that figure is on that.
right, yeah, that is a big,
That's
yeah,
a lot. Yeah.
yeah. Any more comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
All right, next item is consider and approve contract for land for fire station to the city of Jessup.
I would like to make a motion not to accept this bid, and let me explain why.
Hold on, let's get a second, and then we'll.
Second.
Okay, we got a second, go ahead.
This contract, just read last week. But the biggest reason that I can't, support this is it's tied to SPLOST. And as a negotiating member of the SPLOST committee, we were blatantly, clear that the land deal did not have anything to do with SPLOST whatsoever. I'd like to see the city get the property, I really would, to build a fire department, but I feel that we need an agreement before we get a contract. I think we're getting the cart ahead of the horse. And, yeah, I've stated several times, I'll do it one more time, I think that the city needs to appoint 2 commissioners, the county needs to appoint 2 commissioners, let those guys or girls negotiate this deal and bring it to the appropriate board for an approval. I think we're getting nowhere where we're going. That's all I have.
Being part of the negotiation committee, or myself and Commissioner Gordon, I just want to lay this out how it went, how the negotiation went. The first meeting we had, we went in, everybody brought up the items that they had on SPLOST 4 so that they could confirm with the citizens that we had done what we said we were going to do, and their taxpayer monies was spent wisely. The second meeting we had, everybody was supposed to bring their items in to put possibly, if SPLOST 5 passes, on the agenda, for us to be able to look at those items, get those items out to the public, let them look at these items and be able to see what their money was going to be spent on, and if that's something that they would vote for. Commissioner Hopkins and Gordon have worked, and myself, on these volunteer fire stations to get them out, to get the public's ISO ratings down. That's very important. After they change, I know y'all, I'm probably rehashing this, some of you may not have heard it, but it used to be a 5 mile diameter, now it's 5 miles driving distance. So what that did was that took some people out of those areas, and they're not covered anymore. This fire station, I think all the areas are already covered anyway, but we are definitely for the city receiving this property. Don't think that we're against fire. We're not against any of that. What we are for is having a proper negotiation. I'd spoken with one of the negotiators numerous times about this property. They ask over and over about it. When we went to our SPLOST meetings, we all agreed on population. That's how the percentage would be split up. When we walked away, everybody was good with it. Everybody agreed. I think a couple of the commissioners had even commented it, and the mayors, that that's the most fair way to do it is by population. No land was discussed in a SPLOST meeting. This paperwork, as Commissioner Gordon said, was given to us Thursday, I believe it was, and it's a contract for us to sign. And on the first whereas, it says that this is one of the stipulations for them signing the SPLOST negotiations. I have a problem with that because when Commissioner Gordon and I were appointed to this board to negotiate SPLOST, to my understanding, we negotiated the revenue that would be coming in from the SPLOST, generated from the penny. We didn't have the rights, I mean, y'all correct me if we don't have the right to negotiate anything else but the SPLOST money. That was made very clear to the city. However, this contract is, on the first page, it specifically says it's for SPLOST. It has several other requirements and things that are gonna be put in there. I agree with Commissioner Gordon. We need to look at this, look at the property. We need to all sit down. I did bring the land up during the work session. Commissioner Hopkins, you heard it.
Yeah, I heard it. I was.
And I think we're all for it. We want what's best for Wayne County. The location, I think it's the best location for a fire station. It would put a fire engine out on 4-lane road right there. We have other property in that area that's a possibility for them to get. But either way, that was what I relayed to the person I was talking to. Don't write a contract until we meet, and that's what's happened here. We've been given a contract or an agreement for the property transfer, and I don't think we need to do that at this time until we've all sat down and made sure that we're all on the same page, and we're gonna, if we need to negotiate whatever we need to do to make sure this goes through. I don't want this intermingled with SPLOST. SPLOST, we have a timeline that goes, correct me if I'm wrong, February the 19th, so we have to go 90 days prior to that.
Yes, sir.
And we need to have time to get the items that are put on the SPLOST out to the community, so when they're voting, they know what they're voting for. If it's a pool, whatever other items they have on their water, sewer, when they vote, they know what it is, and we can get it out there. And to me, October the 20th will be the deadline for signing these. They're to give us adequate time for our lawyer to write up the proper papers for us to be able to approve these and get these on the ballot. There are, let me get it straight. All the other cities have agreed to population. When we left the meeting, City of Jessup agreed to it, and I hope they will still agree to it, because the SPLOST is a county SPLOST. The way it works is, if the cities agree, it will be a 6-year SPLOST. If the cities do not want to participate in it, it's a 5-year SPLOST, and that money will not be split up among the cities. I think it's very important to the overall county, to the whole county, cities included, that this SPLOST be passed for us to grow. It's amazing to me that people sometimes don't understand the big picture or the 5-year down the road. We've got an industrial park, an amazing industrial park that's being built right now. When those people come in to fill those job positions, we need to have some of this structure in place before they get there to invite these people in. Something made you stay in Wayne County, and I think this is going to be a big portion of it, whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's a judicial annex, infrastructure for water and sewer. You don't want to be going down roads with water all in the roads. To me, this is an important thing for the county, and I hope we can get together with the city, but this contract, to me, from what it says, is not the same as what we negotiated. I apologize to the commissioners, because I know y'all looked at this and were like, what are them jokers doing? But we did not negotiate this in SPLOST. Drew was there. He knows. He wrote that on the front page that the fire department or the city of Jessup was going to get a piece of property. And it's not that we don't want them to have it. but we just need to negotiate, get a contract, and once we get that contract, we can all look at it and decide if that's the best for what we need to do for Wayne County.
Honestly, Chairman, I was blindsided when I got this email about this contract. Said I was blindsided when I got this email about this contract, and that I hadn't been talked to about any of this stuff. And then that's when I talked to you. The only thing that you told me about was about the population, and I told you I was in agreement. Other than that, you and Mike were handling that. So that's my only recollection. This caught me blindsided.
Mr. Chairman, previously, when that property became available, we had talked about, just like our TIA and everything we doing now is towards economic development, and you can see it's paying off. We talked about that property as being a valuable piece of property for economic development that be better used through the industrial authority to try to get some industry here. And that was the thought we had. I still think it's a valuable piece of property because, and to give away a piece of property that's worth about $500,000, I don't see it.
What property are you speaking about?
The property that's on 301 of the old
Oh, the fire department?
Holiday Inn building.
The Days Inn.
The Holiday Inn,
Yeah.
yeah, Holiday Inn.
Oh,
property.
so you think it should go to the Industrial Development Authority?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Basically, what he's saying is in the past, that's what they had considered
that's what we considered.
using it as that. If it was
So,
a previous
because
board.
there's other properties over there, and I think that down the street on the left-hand side, I think the city has some property there. It's all growed up. I don't know if that's the city.
That's right.
3/4 of an acre we have right across the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and that's something we need to, we'll all need to sit down and discuss what,
And then you got the old motel down there. I mean, they trying to clean it up, but property is the only thing worth anything. You need to knock those old block buildings down because I'm sure that asbestos in it and probably Orangeburg pipe up on them and everything else.
all right? Any more comments, questions, concerns?
I'd just like to reemphasize that I am for the city getting it for the right agreement, but because of the way this contract's written, I can't support this.
Madam Clerk?
But then,
Oh.
before we end this, we were to give them that property that's worth $500,000. Then, when they build the training center, we were to contribute $600,000.
I don't know, things have changed. That's why I say we need to sit down and we need to talk about it before. I mean, I've heard so many different stories. The crazy is back and forth. We need to get two commissioners to sit down. Right now, we're dealing with SPLOST. I don't think we need this on our plate at the
Right.
time.
I agree.
I think we just need to, sit down with the city. If they want to give us some people to sit down with and talk about it.
So this valuable piece of property, is, just because you mentioned it, is 4.79 acres on, and it's $500,000, is what Commissioner Thomas just said. Right across the street, directly across the street, is 4.95 acres, which is bigger. And we have it assessed in 2023 at $22,000.
22,000?
22,000.
Well-
But I'm sure
Is
it's,
it for sale?
I was fixing to say, I'll buy it today.
well, here's what it looks like. I'm sure there's a lot of pride and ownership.
I'll buy that tomorrow.
That's up on 301,
It's across the street from our valuable piece of property.
but
This
it's,
is what,
it's still on 301, is what,
across the street. Here's the valuable piece of property.
Is
Here's
that-
the road.
Is that
Here it's
where
across the street.
The old, that old building that the
Yeah. That's what
service station or something like, used to be? Well, I can understand that.
Still larger, but it doesn't, I think, I think we should vote.
okay. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
No.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
All right, so hopefully shortly, we'll, after we get through with SPOS negotiations and get all of this out of the way, we can, proceed forward with that on our, avenues we may want to take. Next item is piping a ditch located at 407 Palm Island Circle. Mr. Elton, you want to talk about this, or you want me to talk about it? The 336 feet.
I can give the details of what's being proposed, but, if you like, I'll do that, just to clarify.
That's fine. You probably have better details than I have.
We've had a request by the property owner out on, Palm Island Circle, or Palm Island Road, one or the other. They come together right there, close together. Anyway, that has requested that the ditch in front of his property, be covered in. The ditch, it's an open ditch, it's functional, and from what I see, you know, he's requested this for aesthetics, and that's basically it. And, I think I provided y'all with an estimate of cost, in the neighborhood of $12,000 some odd dollars. I don't have a copy of it with me.
Yes, sir.
That's really about all I can tell you about it, so.
Mr. Elton,
Yes, sir.
if we've got a functional ditch and we're gonna level it, right? So where's the water how's that would that not wash out or something, or?
Well, you'd leave a swale ditch over the pipe that's under the function. You still got to intercept some of that water coming off, and you would need to put in a box or two along the way to collect the water that comes off the surface. So,
Is this a safety hazard?
say again.
Is this a safety hazard, the way it is right?
It's just a desire somebody wants for their
Aesthetics.
property. And we don't have any way to clean out 336 feet of pipe. We don't have any equipment or anything like that. I know they do a lot of it out at the country club at their own expense, correct? At the,
Yes, we don't have any sewer washing equipment, and, you know, the city is equipped for that. They do it routinely because most of their drainage systems are underground, you know, and don't have a lot of open ditches, but we're not equipped to accommodate that, so.
Mr. Elton, someone building a house and needs a driveway, do you charge them for that culvert pipe?
Yes, sir, we do.
And
The cost includes the cost of material, labor, and equipment for us.
And if somebody's wanting to pipe their ditch, you charge for that as well?
Yes, sir, we charge the same rates for that that we do for the culverts.
This is one of my constituents, as much as I would like to please everybody. It's cosmetic only, right?
Yes, sir, the ditch is functional, it takes care of the drainage. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
all right, so I open the floor to approve or not approve this 336 feet piping of that ditch. All right, y'all ain't gonna do it, I'll do it. I approve not to, or I, make the motion not to approve piping of that ditch for $12,000 anyway, I'll wait on a second.
That's a second.
Discussion?
Anybody got any comments, concerns?
My concerns and comments are, it's for aesthetics. If we charge other people like Commissioner Gordon stated, and we're doing this for aesthetics, and I also are good friends with this constituent, that has nothing to do with what's best for Wayne County. If we open this door, and we do this for one, then you're opening Pandora's box. Now, if they wanna pay the county to come do this, I'm okay with it. If it was a safety issue or drainage where it was causing the highway to wash out or something, I could see the county having to come in and do this for a safety issue. That's my only comment.
Any more? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hopkins,
So we vote yes not to do this, right?
Yes.
the motion was not to approve.
Yes. Want to make sure.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Takes a village for me.
You said yes, Jamie. Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary.
Yes. Sorry, I jumbled the motion, but.
You didn't, it was me.
All right, next item, consider and approve purchases over $15,000. Madam Clerk?
Y'all had those in your books. The road department, they have a Volvo Traco that the undercarriage needs to be replaced, and the tracks are worn out. Timmy Martin got 3 quotes. One was from S&S Hydraulics Incorporated for $20,048.12. Tractor and Equipment Company for $22,254.78, and Dobbs Equipment for $21,920.70. Timmy recommends the low bid from S&S Hydraulics Incorporated. We can take that out of line item equipment repairs and maintenance for paved roads and unpaved roads. The other one is the rec department's Jerry Pate Turf and Irrigation Toro Reel Master Mower. This will be expensed out of Recreation SPOS. The total cost is $94,068. Spec advised, this is the only company that makes the Toro Reel Master Mower, and we are receiving the Omni contract discount of 22% off of Toro products.
I had to go watch a YouTube video. But I did, on this mower. I just could not believe there was such a thing as a $94,000 mower. If I was gonna mow my own lawn, this would be a sweet mower to mow my lawn. This was kind of amazing. I am a penny pincher, but Spec is somebody who can, well, both of these departments. They take care of everything they have.
Yes.
They don't ask, I mean, they do ask, but it's necessary, they give information, I make a motion that we approve all of this.
I have one question.
Which, there's 3 bids, which one are we?
Oh, the S&S. The S&S on the track chain, if you need me to
Track code.
explain what that is, I can't.
Is that the one we just changed the motor out in? Is it? And what year model is that?
I don't recall.
You don't?
It's got some age on it, but it also has hydraulics on it for running a mower. We use it to mow the slopes out there on the landfill, the inert landfill, as well as, we use tractor also, and also has some radar working on it. So it's a pretty versatile machine, and we've got a lot of money invested in it.
Right.
The engine's good, everything's working good, hydraulics are all good, so
Turntable's good?
turntable,
I mean, that's all that's left is the hydraulic pump and the turntable.
that's it. So as far as we know, it is.
Okay.
So what's the life expectancy of these, since we just put the motor in it and then we're gonna do
Track,
the track? What are the life expectancies on these?
depends on the use.
At this point, as far as life expectancy, your big ticket items are your hydraulics, your engine, we put an engine in it, we've still got some warranty on the engine. Your hydraulics, that's one of those things you don't really know about until they break. So
Right.
anticipate that. As far as the tracks, they'll last several years. I would anticipate that after this, we wouldn't be looking at
Life of the machine.
really major maintenance on that machine. We'd be looking at probably jumping it out, something really significant without.
So I'm seeing that Timmy recommends the S&S, so is that a vendor that we?
That's the vendor over in Blackshear.
What I'm saying that is you got 3 vendors here and there's not enough money, one that you prefer more, or you feel like you could get better results that would be, but it says here that Timmy recommends S&S.
We've used all of them, they're all
Okay.
comparable. So from that standpoint, just the
I got
numbers is the side figure. what we should-
I just wanna make sure that, you know, with $1,000 or $2,000 more, if it's a more reputable, you think you're gonna get a better job, I'd rather spend a little bit more money and get the person that's more professional. If you're saying they're all equal and S&S is what you want,
And I
Sorry.
agree with what you just said, that's correct.
Oh, no, that's fine. They when I talked to Spec about this, they mow 11 fields 2 times a week with 2 people. That's just an amazing amount of work that they do. I can't deny them that request.
So are you making a motion
I already
for
did.
She did.
all,
For the S&S and for the Jerry Pate Turf and Irrigation.
okay. And did we get a second?
No, there's no.
No.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any more comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
That goes for, appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
you,
y'all.
Mr. Elton. And-
Next item is M, which we amended the agenda to include a resolution for Omaha River Leisure Authority to apply for the GOSA grant. It's already been approved one time and they got turned, the resolution for them to apply for it has been approved one time and they were turned down on it. It's my understanding, most of these grants, if you keep on bugging them enough, they'll eventually, and that's all we're doing tonight is, approving that resolution for them to be able to apply for that grant.
I'll make that a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any comments, concerns? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
All right. That's all of the new business. Appointments, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act Board, Dr. Paul Scott, term expires October the 31st. I believe you talked with,
October the 1st, yeah, they sent a letter, it's, put it in y'all's book where they were just asking, would Wayne County like to nominate them for reappointment? They both agreed, that they would still remain on that board.
and we'll do those nominations one at a time. The first one will be Dr. Paul Scott. I make a motion, we reappoint him for him to continue. And we have a second. Madam Clerk, are any comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox.
Yes.
Next appointment's the same thing, but with, Ted Buford. Term expires also, the 1st of October.
Yes. I'll make a motion, we reappoint.
I second it.
Any comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner McCrary,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins.
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Hickox,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Next is items with the county administrator.
I got a chance to meet with Diane Rogers today with Action Pack in reference to the follow-up we were gonna do with the Senior Citizen Center. And, we got to look over the plans for the building that is planned over there. And, we're gonna try to keep her in the loop. It was a good meeting. I say we're gonna try. We're gonna keep her in the loop as this new bid process goes out. And we probably will at some point rebid that architectural plan. You know, obviously what our hopes is we use the same plan, save us some money if we're allowed to do that. And, but she found minor, very minor issues, nothing major at all, just, you know, some storage issues and stuff like that that would help them. She said the building looked a lot like what they're using currently in Bullock County. So she was pleased with it, and like I said, it was a very productive meeting, and I think after that, Commissioner Thomas and her went over and looked at, and Miss Amy went over and looked at, Hall Richardson. The second issue I have for y'all is solar panels. I sent it out in reference, or I sent it out in one of my weekly wrap-ups here a week or two ago. And I just want us to be thinking about, a solar panel ordinance. The clerk, Amanda Hanna, and I have received several of them. We've got one from Dodge County that we like, and on some other counties also like. You know, the biggest issue we got to start looking at, and let me say one reason I've decided to really kind of stick this on our radar is because talking to our building inspector, Mr. Huey, he got a call, I think just last week, from another very large company wanting to do solar panels. And, you know, they asked the question, well, you know, what kind of, you know, ordinances do y'all have? And he's like, we don't, you know, so we need to address that from the standpoint of not only just like, you know, visual mitigation on these huge fields, and also decommissioning that Commissioner Hopkins and I talked about, that there's a lot of concerns that we need to go ahead and get out ahead of the game, because we're starting to see a lot of these larger fields jump up. You know, was it either in May or June, we had the company come, and they've got 300 and some odd acres out in the Mount Pleasant area that they're planning on. So there's going to be some big fields coming, it looks like.
Can we go ahead and put that on the agenda for November?
I'd love to, actually. And
so-
I'll be happy to get it out to y'all. Well, first we'll let the county attorney, you know, look over it and everything, and then get it out to y'all, let y'all look at it, and then possibly, you know, if there's any changes y'all see that you want to make, and then possibly in November, go ahead and vote on something. That would be really nice.
And Mr. Beaver's I'm sorry. Mr. Beaver's gonna derive those from other counties that already have them.
ACCG has some form ordinances.
Okay.
That they've kind of made a conglomerate from other counties, so we'll kind of look at it and see what fits our needs the best and start from there.
I know normally we ask, are they following the ordinance and the guidelines? Well, if we don't have them, we're an open door, and I think we need to look
Yes,
at our
that's the
options
concern.
and, yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask, Chair. Exactly what you just asked. And like I said, me and Paul talked about, you know, getting into these contracts is one thing, getting out is another. You know, the way the guidelines and stuff on disposable materials and stuff that these stuffs are made out of. I have heard horror stories where they had not using them anymore, and then the county had to pay. So we just need to protect Wayne County, and I think it's great that you're bringing this to our attention, Paul. Thank you for that.
My last thing is I want to give Josh in the back some kudos for all of our IT work that he's got accomplished. We've got a new camera and audio system. I'll be contacting Bob McCrary tomorrow to
better.
find out exactly what our sound sounded like. But thanks to Miss Commissioner Hickox for, I think, because if I'm not mistaken, we linked to your page,
Yep,
because
I
she
shared it.
gets, yeah. Josh streams it. We have our YouTube channel and Josh streams it. Obviously, we don't get as many clicks or whatever you want to call it as Commissioner Hickox does. So what we've done is they've been able to work together, and Jamie's graciously linked our YouTube site to her page. So ideally, because the new sound and audio will stream better through our YouTube site. So I want to thank Josh. He's done a great job, and he got it done quickly, and so yeah.
My mom
We're
and
still
daddy,
working on that.
my mom and daddy, thank you. Yeah, and I think they're adding a camera up here so that they
Yes.
can shine on the people that are
That way, when
Shine,
when somebody's presenting, because as it is right now, when somebody's presenting, you kind of get the back of their head. So Josh is going to see about putting one over here, so when they're presenting, he can have a split screen of the commission and then the presenter, and so,
Boy,
yeah.
we're gonna be high tech.
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Definitely. And that's all. Thank y'all.
Okay. What's the next one? Items with the clerk, financials.
Okay, in y'all's book, y'all have the August 2023 budget report compared to August 2022. The revenues for '23 were $1,416,887.20. 2022 was $1,487,312.73. Overall revenues are down from 2022 by 4.74%. Expenses for '23 was $2,130,298.48. 2022 was $1,862,143.26. Overall expenses are up from 2022 by 14.40%. And then the fund balance as of September the 30th, 2023, general fund is $946,968.34. Lost treasury account, $9,006,222.06. SPLOS, $6,351,864.07. T-SPLOS, $3,507,153.31. American Rescue Plan, $4,195,011.38. And the revolving loan fund, $281,320.66.
Thank you.
I would just like to add just a little bit of clarification, if you'll notice, just so you'll know, as you're looking through your monthly budget for our 23 budget for August, ending of August, we're bumping right up to where we need to be for the year. And probably the main drivers that have us even close to that is going to be the jail and the corner. And both of those are outside of their control. It's inmate health care.
Okay. That's good. All right, is that it? Madam
That's all.
Clerk? Items with the county commissioners. Commissioner Thomas?
Don't have much. I appreciate the county administrator helping me negotiate with Hall Richardson and the senior citizen building. I think we on the right track. I think we came up with a great solution to solving that problem. It's something that's going to be permanent and people are not moving around. In our region commission meeting the other night in Mount Vernon, we went over some things, and in our area, we in Region 9, 17 counties, which is the heart of Georgia, Omaha. And right now, I think we are ranked third in unemployment. Out of 17 counties, there's only 2 other counties that's got lower unemployment, and that's Campbell County at 2.4, Evans County 3.0, and we're Wayne County 3.1. Everybody else is above even. Appleton is 3.9, and Montgomery 4.6, Tapman 4.5, 3.5, Telfa is 6.5. So they really got some problems. Jeff Davis is 4.6. So they give these things out. Workforce Investment gave a good report. Those people we just appointed to the Workforce Investment Board, a lot of people don't know what they do, but they contribute a lot to the region. As a matter of fact, I made the sheriff aware and the chief of Workforce Investment. I think it costs about $10,000 now to get a deputy trained and certified. Well, he can go through Workforce Investment. Workforce Investment will pay for that officer to be trained and come out with some equipment when they get through this training. They'll buy some things they need. The only thing they won't buy is a weapon. But they have really contributed to helping local counties when it comes to that. And that has saved us a lot of money. At one point, we were training deputies, and after we train them, they go somewhere else. Yeah. And so I think that we decided we'd do a clause, we'd use workforce investment, and then when they train, I think they gotta stay with us at least 3 years, and if they go somewhere else, they gotta pay that money back. So I think that's a good deal. Yeah. Other than that, your TIA, the TIA is running well. I think in Omaha, Georgia region, from, January through July with the, amount collected, was like, 26,337,886. The other regions are pretty close, so Tia is working. Thank you so much.
That train, is that kinda like what we had, wasn't it at Flexi, where they gave them computers or am
Well, I
mistaken?
think Commissioner Thomas and Chief Hargrove can correct me. Commissioner Thomas is talking about when the sheriff's department sends a recruit to go get certified as
You
a
are
law
still in
enforcement
Savannah,
officer.
right? Or where-
Right.
We're sending them back to Forsyth now.
Forsyth, okay.
Okay.
Little money,
I think they
sending them up
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever they send them, they pay money.
And
So,
they
yeah.
actually stay over at that facility until, okay.
come home on the weekend.
And
We found that it saved a little money because we buy the meal plan from the, academy up there. So the room is covered, the meal plan is a lot lower than the plan when we go to Savannah and buy the meal about right away.
And so typically, anytime we're talking about FLESI or those type classes are more advanced type training, stuff like Detective Stallings would go to. I was just seeing if he was paying attention.
All right, Commissioner Howard?
I'm good.
Okay.
I would like to see, we did such a great job on the general fund budget. I would very much like to see a budget on SPOST, not just a running checking account. So it would be easier to reference, hey, these are our SPOST $4, this is what we put out on our, this is what our project list was on SPOST 4, this is how much we had in rec, this is where we've spent our money from rec and what's left. Just something that's just like a budget sheet, that would be easy for us to see and easy for the citizens, because it's their SPOS dollars, where it was spent and how much is left.
Commissioner,
And I think we have
I
one.
was fixing to say, I think Amanda put the most updated one, yes, is this. She should have placed it
It's-
where your books are at.
It's right.
That's a one sheet. I'm talking a budget. This is not I'm talking by department, a budget. You see what I'm saying? More
So in
detail.
other words, like under public, like, cause like for this obviously has the breakdowns that were in SPOS 4.
Yes, sir.
So in other words, like under public safety, you wanna see where it's broke down between, cause typically public safety would be sheriff's department, EMS.
Uh-huh.
So you wanna see how it's broke down and what's been spent.
Trackable,
I got
things,
you.
but
Okay.
not just me as a commissioner. That's, I know we're, on our radar is a website where we get this information out there, where it's easily, trackable by the citizens too. How much is, because I know, I drive by the rec department, I know that we have a lot of money in Bill Morris Park, but it's beautiful. It's very well spent, but light poles, well, I wonder how much those were, things like that we can track what's.
Well, I see what
what's
you're
the-
saying.
that's-
Yeah, we can get that.
And I think that'll be a value, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm done.
I think that'd be a valuable asset to explaining what's been done in SPOS 4 and
Yes.
to be able to look forward to SPOS 5 in the, so that the public really knows that what we said we were gonna spend it on, it was spent on.
See what they're getting per dollar.
Yep. That's right. Mr. Gordon?
Just an update on the volunteer fire departments. There's been two volunteer fire departments erected in District 1. One is at Osteen Branch Road, the other one is at Tank Road at Chapman Plantation. The buildings are up, fire engines are in. We're in the process right now of wiring the department at Chapman and Tank Road. The septic tank was being installed today or put in. We'll be waiting on water. Can you have any updates on the water, Brandon?
We're still waiting on the agreement to come back. Have you heard anything, Andy?
Not yet.
They did reach out and said they would run a lateral to the building until we can get the agreement in place so they can have potable water to the building, but the well is waiting on the agreement. They have also offered to put in a coupling so the fire trucks can hook up straight to the tank, at the well site when it does get
Right.
installed. We're just waiting on the agreement.
Yeah. But the thing that's important about this is the citizens that live within 5 road miles of each one of these locations should see a significant change in their home insurance premiums. And, it's much needed for the people in the unincorporated areas. That's all I have.
At what point, is it when the water's, I know we've got the engines in, and is it when the water is actually hooked up? Do they start seeing those changes in their ISO ratings and their insurance going down? Does anybody know that?
I think
Yeah.
It's gotta be approved.
It does, they'll have to,
With fire people, with firefighters associated with it. and
They have
all
to
that.
come in
That's
and do
what
it.
Skip was telling us the other day.
yeah, they'll have to come in and do an inspection.
That's
And
right.
like, I think some of the final stuff they have to have is like small things like a map on the wall showing what district is covered by that particular firehouse. And, you know, obviously your water going and those type things. But yeah, there's just a few minor details that need to be buttoned up for that to actually start taking place.
We're getting close.
Come-
Yes.
Coming soon, but not quick as Dollar General. They are already open. No joke. They
Clean up
poured,
on aisle 4.
they poured the slab the same time we poured, and they're already open.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I've talked enough tonight. Is that all you got?
Yep.
I'm done. We have no executive session. Thank everybody for coming. Appreciate y'all's support. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second, third.